Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and today I am doing the Bias Breaker 2020 tag. So this means that for each prompt, I am going to recommend a book to you. And if you aren't aware, the entire month of November, I have been doing dedicated videos recommending books for each prompt. So I will leave those down below. For instance, I have one all about books from Africa. I have one all about non-binary main characters and authors. I have one for mental disorder rep and physical disability rep. I just pansexual. I have so many down below. So I figured the only way I can't double up is if I recommend books to you, which I don't think I have shown yet on my channel. So most of these are books that I have not read or have very recently hauled. So it's a little bit naughty of me because for my birthday I hauled a whole bunch of books, but I haven't showed them to you yet. So this video is going to be a recommendations video for each of the prompts, and these are physical books for the most part that I have on my shelves. So it's going to be super long. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you find some books that aren't maybe one that you've heard about before. I'm sure that I have some really good ones in here from all over the place. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start off with my team, which is the Privateer Pilot team. So one of the challenges is to read a book featuring a physically disabled or neuroatypical or neurodiverse main character or author. So for this, I have 3 recommendations. First up, Neverland by Margot McGovern, who is an Australian writer. This is a reimagining of Peter Pan where Kit has returned to her island after self-harming, and she has been getting help for that, and she returns and is struggling with her mental health, and the island is a lot different than she remembers. The mermaids are gone, the lagoon is different, and she has to learn how to cope. Next up is Prozac Nation by Elizabeth Wurtzel. This is one of the oldest ones on my TBR just because I know that it deals with being young and depressed in America. And as someone who has depression, I'm both intrigued and also do not want to trigger myself. So I want to read this, and also it's very intimidating to me. And the last one is The Choke by Sofie Laguna, who is an Australian writer. And I have actually read this one before, but I recently got it in my birthday haul. So this is following a main character who was abandoned by her mother and only occasionally visited by her father. She is raised by her grandfather. This character lives in a very small town where she is often overlooked, and her care as a young person is often kind of left to whatever her grandfather remembers to do, and Justine struggles with severe dyslexia at school. Next up is All That Glitters. Read a book from the Middle East, Africa, South or Southeast Asia, or non-US Canadian Americas. So I tried to pick countries that I think most people don't read that much from. So in here, I actually have 2 from Trinidad, so I thought that was pretty interesting. First up is The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Roffey. So I bought this a while ago intending to read it, but I'm gonna save it for Merry January, where I read mer-themed books. This follows 1976 in a tiny Caribbean village. A fisherman sings to himself, and his hull brings in a mermaid from the deep. Can't wait to read it. I also have The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Junauda Petrus. This story alternates between Trinidad and America. We are following a girl from Trinidad, and when her parents discover her with her girlfriend, she is sent for straightening out in America. Only when she gets there, she strikes up a rapport and potentially a relationship with one of her neighbors. And the last one here is Tequila Blue by Rolo Diez, who is writing from Argentina. So I am a huge lover of Argentinian literature. It's something that I've learned over the past few years, that Argentina has just like banging books. So it says, this is a savagely funny, sexy crime adventure that is a biting satire of life in Mexico. So the last pilot prompt is Close Encounters, to read a book with a main character completely different to you. So I have The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba and Bryan. So this is following a young boy in Malawi, Africa, who teaches himself how to build all these different things and help his village. And I actually used to teach the TED Talk of this when I was a teacher in South Korea, but I haven't actually read the book, which is a memoir co-written by the boy himself and then probably like a helper, Bryan. So really looking forward to this one. We also have Call Me By Your Name by Aciman. I have wanted to read this forever, and it recently came in the mail, and I was so excited. So this is following two men, a young boy and an older grad student, who fall in love during one summer, and I am neither a man nor am I gay, so not like me at all. And I don't live in Italy. Okay. And last up is This Is How It Always Is by Laurie Frankel. And this is the story of a family who has 5 boys. Only one day, the youngest boy tells them that he is actually a girl. So this follows a trans girl coming of age story. And I think it's a really unique perspective. And I've heard great things about this book. So looking forward to it. Next up, let's do the Renegade Researcher prompts. So the first one is to read a book featuring a bisexual, pansexual, or aro ace spectrum main character and or author. So I'm going to recommend a trilogy I just read, and I don't think it made it into my recommendations videos because I read it after making that video because I really wanted to read it after finding out about it. This is the Twisted Wishes trilogy by Zabo. So each one of these books follows a pansexual main character. The first book follows the drummer and the lead singer, one who is pansexual, aromantic, and the other character is gay. The second book is between a pansexual man and a gay man. And then the third book is between a pansexual woman and a straight trans man. So I just really love this series. It's very rock and roll, following the band, but then also how their personal lives are impacted by that and their dating experiences. So yeah, I highly recommend this, and it has pan rep for all 3 and ace rep for one of them. The second researcher prompt is Milky Way Transmission. Read a translated book. For this, I have ones that I have just picked up. So I'm very naughty. I haven't held them yet, but I just want to share them with you so bad. So this is A Luminous Republic by Andre Barba, who is from Spain. So this was originally in Spanish. This is dealing with not 1, not 2, but 20 plus evil children who come out of the woods or the jungle, I believe, and start to harass and I think murder people in this town. I'm very intrigued. Those are eyeballs on the cover. So I'm just so excited. I also got Ocean Sea by Alessandro Baricco, who is an Italian writer, so this is an Italian translation. I honestly don't know what it's about. I bought it strictly because I have also read Without Blood by Alessandro Baricco and thought it was phenomenal, so I really want to get to this one. And last up is a French translation. This is Fire in the Blood by Irene Nemirovsky. And the blurb on the back says, possibly the most devastating indictment of French manners and morals since Madame Bovary. Okay. And the last prompt for the Renegade researchers is through the ringer, break your own book bias. Whatever you read the most of, read the opposite, also known as read whatever you read the least of. So for me, I think that's pretty much nonfiction. I'm not that good at nonfiction, especially right now. Whenever I'm stressed, there is no chance I'm gonna pick up nonfiction. So I just grabbed 3 off my shelves that I know I want to read, but just like I need to be in a good mood. This is Living Dolls by Gabby Wood, who is a UK writer. This is talking about the history of human invention in the quest for mechanical life. As you know, I love human AI stories, and I actually just really like AI in general. It's one of my favorite scientific topics to read about, so I really want to read this one. One I just picked up recently for my birthday is The Invisible Kingdom by Aidan Ben Barak, who is an Australian writer. This is about the curious world of microbes. So have you ever heard like you need to face your fear? So what you may not know is that I have a slight germophobia. Like I won't use public restrooms, and I really hate to touch handles on trains or doorknobs. Like I don't like to touch things that I know a lot of people have touched. And this was before COVID. So I'm like, maybe if I read about this, then I can get over some of my fear, maybe, because maybe it will tell me, you know, something I don't know and I'll feel better. Or it could horrify me even more and I'll just never touch anything ever again. And the last one is When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. I've heard great things about this. I've heard that it is going to make me cry buckets. I don't know why like doctor or medical stories always intrigue me. I think it's so far beyond the realm of what I know and what I'm familiar with that I find it really fascinating. So I can't wait to get to this one. Okay, so the last team I want to talk about is the spy team. So the first prompt is Interstellar Spy. Read a book with a non-binary, gender fluid, or genderqueer main character and or author. So instead of adult, I decided to go towards child and child development. So we're gonna start out with the simplest one and work our way up to the hardest one. So the first one I want to talk about is Neither by Airlie Anderson. So before I recommended this, I went onto YouTube and I looked at a read along. So I've read this book. It's about not fitting into binaries and being okay with yourself and finding a place that you can exist as you are without having to change anything about yourself. For an adult reading it, they'll know kind of what they're getting at, but for a child, it's just to get the idea across that you don't have to be in the binary. And the one that I was aware of is It Feels Good to Be Yourself, a book about gender identity by Teresa Thorne. So this one I have also read on YouTube. If you're not aware, children's books, there is a huge subcategory, I guess, of YouTube videos where people will read aloud books online. So like kids can watch or parents can look and vet that the books are appropriate for their child before buying them, which I think is really good. So I've already watched this one as well. And it is following different characters and it walks you through how they self-identify. So first you meet a child whose parents thought that they were a boy when they were born, but then when she was old enough, she told her parents that she's actually a girl. And then you meet her brother the parents thought he was a boy and they were right, he is a boy. And you meet a character who is both boy and girl, and you meet a character who doesn't want to be labeled as either. So it follows a range of different representations and I think lays it out in a very clear way. And I will also say this book has great representation for body type, skin color, and also disability. One of the characters is in a wheelchair. So I really recommend this book. And a book that I haven't read, I suppose, because it's not a child's book that I could easily read, but I plan to check out soon, is The Gender Creative Child: Pathways for Nurturing and Supporting Children Who Live Outside Gender Boxes. So I think that this should be really interesting. It's a lot of essays and non-fiction research on children who may not fit into the binary, and also there's essays on why we shouldn't push the binary, and also starting from as early as when you tick the box on the birth certificate, a girl or boy, kind of getting into some discussions around that. So those are 3 books that I think are very important and I haven't mentioned before, 2 of which I have read and do recommend, and 1 which I want to read and will be checking out for my library hopefully soon. The second spy challenge is Cryosleep Classroom. Read a book with an Indigenous main character and or author. And for this I have 3 on my shelves. So one I have talked about before. This is Too Much Lip by Melissa Lukashenko, who is an Aboriginal Australian writer. So we are following a woman who rides a motorcycle and she kind of is done with her past life and doesn't really want to go to her hometown because she doesn't like how people are set in their ways. But when she has to go back for a weekend, she decides, fine, I'll just go. So she gets on her motorcycle and she's going back to her hometown, and it is following her over that weekend. And I'm a sucker for any main character that reads a motorcycle. So did I just say reads a motorcycle? Rides a motorcycle. And if you watched my last reading wrap-up, I read Future Home of the Living God by Louise Erdrich, who I believe is an American Indigenous writer, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So when I was book shopping on my birthday, I saw 2 more by her. So this is Tracks and this is La Rose. So Tracks says, set in North Dakota in the early 20th century, when Indian tribes were struggling to keep what little remained of their lands, Tracks is a tale of passion and deep unrest. You have me. And her writing, like chef's kiss. And then La Rose, I actually had checked out from the library, and then I found it for $3 on my birthday, so it was great. This one is following a man who is out hunting. He accidentally shoots and kills another man in his community's child, and in exchange, he gives that family one of his own children to raise as their own. I really want to read this, but maybe when I'm in a less stressed out headspace, because death of a child is never fine, and I'm also not into hunting, but then I also really want to read this book, so I'm very conflicted. And the last challenge is Stranger in a Strange Land. Read from a country you know nothing about. So I have 3 left. So first up, I have Sky Burial by Zinran. This is about a young child who hears a story about a soldier that was fed to the vultures on a high mountaintop in what is known as a sky burial. Several decades later, this woman meets another woman who has lost her husband and is searching for him all over Tibet, and their journey takes them towards the world of sky burials. So I think it sounds really interesting. I think I've only read one thing from Tibet before. Maybe it was Mongolia. I'm really sorry, I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, I really don't know much about Tibet at all. Second to last is The Morning Bird by Mumbanga Kalamumukwento. This is from Zambia. So this follows 2 kids who are orphaned, and instead of going to live with extended relatives that don't want them, they decide that they're going to eke out a living on the streets, but it is very difficult, dangerous, and at the height of the AIDS crisis. So I think it's going to be very serious, but also I was just intrigued, and then my husband bought it for me, and I'm very lucky to have it. And the last one is one my mom got me for my birthday. This is The Discomfort of Evening by Marieke Lucas Rijneveld, and this is from the Netherlands, a country I know nothing about. So this is following a young girl who is annoyed at her brother, and she's thinking like, oh, I wish he would just die and go away. And that day, tragedy strikes and something really bad happens. And then she thinks after that that everything bad that happens on the farm is due to her and her own actions. It sounds dark. It's very cold. This would be a fabulous read for winter because it's very cold and set in the snowy time. So maybe in later December, I will read this. We shall see. So that finishes up my bias breaker tag video. Please let me know what you think down below. Also make sure to share your TBR, what you're planning, what team you're on, and if you're not already following, follow bias__breaker to stay on top of all the announcements. Most active on Instagram. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video soon. Lots of love. Bye.